There once was a tribe called the Parshendi. The tribe was found by the Alethi. Then they sent out the assassin in white who struck King Gavilar down. Soon may the Everstorm come, we'll get out from under the humans' thumb. One day when the humans are gone, we'll take what's ours and go. Because they wanted to even the score, the Alethi up and went to war. They all came out to the shattered plains where those high storms blow. Soon may the Everstorm come, we'll get out from under the humans' thumb. One day when the humans are gone, we'll take what's ours and go. A Shosh brand newly on his face, a slave was brought to that awful place. With a strange windspren right at his back, he got put into Bridge 4. Soon may the Everstorm come, we'll get out from under the humans' thumb. One day when the humans are gone, we'll take what's ours and go.
Hello, my name is Dobson, the developer behind the Way of Kings Total Conversion. As the Way of Kings is nearing feature completion, there are far too many systems to be able to cover them all in a video like this. Therefore, I would like to tell you just about what I've been working on recently. The new endgame mechanics. Right now, we have two versions of the Oath Pact game plan. One to dismantle it, and one to restore it. You can think of these as the Singer and Human victory conditions respectively. Of course, in the spirit of Crusader Kings, these do not actually end the game, but instead provide incentives to pursue huge long-term targets you can work towards over hundreds of years, and feel like you've accomplished something extremely challenging by the end of it. They're effectively achievements. The Singers have a very straightforward game plan. You need to research Stormform, summon the Everstorm, and kill all of the Heralds. This is difficult because not only will the Heralds counter-scheme against anyone who dares try to scheme against them, but each year there's a chance that one of the dead Heralds will reincarnate. That is, unless you find some way to permanently destroy their souls, such as claiming Nightblood. Using Nightblood can be a double-edged sword, quite literally, as if the sword judges you to be evil, then it will eat you instead of your enemy. If you choose to go that route, then you will have to strike the right balance between seeming evil to the blade and murdering the Heralds. Once you've accomplished the murder of all the Heralds, simply take the decision to dismantle the Oath Pact. From that point on, the Everstorm will last forever, and the Spren will no longer bond with humans. The restoration of the Oath Pact is a goal for those who are dedicated to playing as the Knights Radiant, which is probably the reason most people want to play this mod. For those who don't know, the TLDR is that the Knights Radiant is an organization of mentally ill, glow-in-the-dark people who have weaponized therapy, and you too can become one by having a stress break and bonding your very own therapy fairy called a Spren. As a Knight Radiant, you progress in power by managing your mental health, that is to say, your stress, and living up to the ideals of your order. Basically, every order has its own code of chivalry. There are 10 orders of Knight Radiant, each with its own Spren types and 5 levels based on which oaths you've sworn as a knight. You can get started working towards the Oath Pact already in the second cultural era. A culture head who is Radiant will be offered the Radiant Innovation associated to their order. These provide a varied set of bonuses, from simple stat buffs to men-at-arms regiments and alternative ways to manage your stress. Once a culture has unlocked all 10 Radiant innovations, an 11th innovation is unlocked. Lumenocracy, the rule of Radiance. Note that since the 10 orders are mutually exclusive, there is a soft limit of 10 generations to be able to achieve this for your culture. Out of all the custom governments in the Way of Kings, the Lumenocracy government type is definitely the one you're going to want to strive towards as a Radiant. Firstly, it grants a bunch of game-changing bonuses, and a few penalties to shake things up, and greatly improves your chances of becoming Radiant in the first place. It also unlocks the Radiant Council, a bunch of important decisions, and the Radiance Dynasty Legacy, which unlocks even more powerful decisions, such as the decision to revive a dead Shardblade. The final of these unlocks the Restore Oath Pact decision, which has very high requirements. You can reduce these requirements to a more manageable level by hunting down and eliminating the Unmade. Each Unmade you manage to capture or eliminate reduces the requirements by 1. In other words, you still need to get your hands on some high-level Radiant Counselors, but not as many as you'd normally need. At the time of recording, there are 3 Unmade who have been fully implemented. Nurgaul, the Thrill, who drives a region to war, Ashertmarn, the Heart of the Revel, who drives people to incessant feasting and indulging in carnal pleasures, and Yelignar, the Blightwind, who seduces the ambitious with promises of great power before consuming them. In each case, the way to defeat them is to embrace them when they're offered to you, then overcoming the special challenges that come with each case. There's one more unmade in the works, Reshafir, the Midnight Mother. However, she works a bit differently than the previous three, so she needed some special mechanics. She's not really an enemy that can be fought with armies, but a small group of powerful Radiants could potentially handle her. So, let me just launch the Dungeon Dev Minigame, and this is how you'll be resolving small-scale combats when delving deep underground in order to find and capture the Midnight Mother. Thus far, about half the skills are implemented, and the exact meta mechanics aren't set in stone yet, but you can expect either something like the D&D style combat grid, or a Dark Dungeon style slot-based combat system. You'll basically be delving into the catacombs of Urithiru using event chains, and then the actual fights will be resolved using this minigame. At any rate, when you've managed to capture enough Unmade that you manage to restore the Oath Pact, the singers will permanently be unable to summon Desolations and the Everstorm, and any remaining Unmade will be eliminated. You and any of your Radiant Counselors who are participating in the ritual will also become Heralds.
Future Thompson here. Just wanting to add that not only did I finish these features, I also added 6 more victory conditions in the time since I started editing this video. You may now claim Roshar in the name of 8 of the shards of Adnalcium. Feature completion is so close that I can taste it. Also, until now, the Way of Kings was always the mod that had all of the advanced tech and complex emergent systems, but it lacked in the graphics department. That's about to change, as I finally got my hands on some 3D artists. This is the Tower City of Urithiru by Swinledge. It's the headquarters of the Knights Radiant, and these Oath Gates outside of it allow instantaneous teleportation to any of the Dawn cities in the game. The Way of Kings is out and fully playable right now. Depending on how much I've no-lifed after recording this, these features may even be out already.
Thank you for your time, and remember, life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination.
Unite them